Hello everyone, my name is Liao Wang and I'm an open source engineer from Huawei. Today, I'd like to introduce the topic of deploy ONNX model seamlessly across all scenarios using MindSpore. Firstly, let's see what MindSpore is. I believe most of you have heard of TensorFlow and PyTorch. Like TF and PyTorch, MindSpore is a new open-source deep learning training and inference framework that could be used for mobile, edge, and cloud scenarios. In a word, it's designed to provide development experience with friendly design and efficient execution for the data scientists and algorithm engineers. It also provides native support for assigned AI processor and software-hardware co-optimization. At the meantime, MindSpore as a global AI open-source community, we aim to further advance the development and enrichment of the AI software-hardware application ecosystem. As for its key features, it contains a lot of awesome features such as friendly development experience, flexible debugging, fully unleashing hardware performance, and quick deployment in all scenarios. Today, I'm going to cover all two of them. Firstly, flexible debugging. As we all know, static graphs perform better at execution performance, and the dynamic graph is better at debugging. For MindSpore, it only requires a line of code to change between a static graph and a native graph. So users can freely choose the graph mode based on their requirements. For example, if user wants to debug its model, so it can only set the context with the native mode, and after the debug work, it can change back the mode to graph mode, so to accelerate the model execution. Secondly, deploy across all scenarios. So MindSpore is supported to deploy all scenarios. That means you can train the model from MindSpore once and export it to MindIR format, and then you can deploy it in cloud, edge, mobile, and even IoT devices. From the first section, you should have an initial picture of MindSpore framework. Now, I will show you some collaboration work between MindSpore and the ONNX community. Okay, first I'll show you how MindSpore works with ONNX, both exporter and importer side. So from the exporter side, as you can see from this figure, the blue box is some components from MindSpore. We have front-end expression, a graph engine, and the ONNX exporter. So firstly, users can use MindSpore model train API to perform model training with saving some checkpoint parameters. And secondly, users can call train.export method to convert MindSpore model to ONNX model. And thirdly, you can perform model inference on ONNX runtime or other runtimes like TensorRT or TF Lite. And from the importer side, we use MindSpore Lite to execute the model execution. Firstly, users can train and export ONNX model from any third-party frameworks. And secondly, you can load and convert ONNX model through MindSpore Lite front-end API. And thirdly, users can compile the Lite model into MindIR graph using graph optimization. And lastly, you can just run MindIR graph efficiently on mobile device or IoT devices. Now I will show you the current MindSpore support with ONNX. Since the first alpha version published in March last year, MindSpore has supported ONNX as the first-class citizen. For a 0.1 version, there are 18 operators and 3 models with LeanNet, AlexNet, and ResNet 50 supported to convert ONNX format. And by the latest 1.1 version of MindSpore, the network number of FP32 has grown up to 58, and the FP16 network number is 43. But we are still working on more operators and network in Model Zoo to natively support ONNX format. In the next part, I'd like to share some ideas of future plans. As you can see, currently MindSpore only supports ONNX model inference scenario, but we are planning to integrate MindSpore backend into ONNX runtime training module. In this figure, we can develop ONNX-MS converter plugin to convert ONNX training model to MindSpore model and apply fine-tune or transfer learning in MindSpore, so that we can further enlarge the deploy scenario by leveraging the interoperability of ONNX. Lastly, if you feel interested in MindSpore, here are some useful guidelines. If you want to find some more installation and tutorial documents, please go to our official website, www.mindspore.cn. If you want to check out the source code, our code is hosted at Git code platform, and meanwhile, the mirror code is hosted at GitHub and iHub. For communication tools, we have mailing list, WeChat, forum, Slack, Bilibili, TikTok, and QQ communication tools. You can choose any of them to discuss or ask technical questions. That's all about this topic today. Thank you and bye-bye.